Have you ever truly stopped and asked yourself, am I living up to my fullest potential? Not just existing, not just waking up, going to work, checking off tasks, eating dinner, and going to sleep only to repeat it all over again tomorrow. I mean living, fully, consciously, intentionally. It's a tough question. Because if we're being honest, many of us are living lives that feel more like routines than reflections of who we truly are. We move from one responsibility to the next, one expectation to another, without ever really pausing to ask, is this the life I want? Or is it just the life I've drifted into? There's a silent ache that grows when we ignore our deeper purpose. A part of us begins to feel disconnected, restless, sometimes even emptied, despite how productive or successful we may appear on the outside. But here's the good news. The power to change that begins with awareness, and awareness begins now. In this video, I want to take you on a journey, one that's not just inspiring, but practical. A journey grounded in ancient wisdom that has stood the test of time. Stoicism. You've probably heard of names like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. But Stoicism isn't just dusty philosophy from the pages of old books. It's a toolkit, a mindset, a way to reclaim your power in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions. What I'm about to share with you are 9 Stoic principles, not abstract theories, but powerful truths you can begin applying today. Tools to sharpen your mind, anchor your emotions, and enrich your spirit. Because real change doesn't begin with motivation, it begins with clarity. When you know what truly matters, your life starts to align. Your actions carry more weight, your days feel more meaningful, and you begin to move not with haste, but with purpose. So, take a deep breath, let go of the noise for a moment, and allow yourself this space not just to listen, but to reflect. If you're ready to stop drifting and start living fully, courageously, and intentionally, this video is for you. Let's dive into the 9 Stoic principles that can help you rediscover your strength, reclaim your focus, and remember who you are beneath all the distractions. This is where your journey begins. Every morning, before the world places its demands on you, you have one quiet moment that belongs entirely to yourself. What you say to yourself in that moment matters. I am capable. 3 simple words. But spoken with intention, they become a shield against doubt and a compass through chaos. Too often, we let the voices of the outside world define our worth. A missed opportunity, a harsh comment, a bad day, they whisper lies. You're not enough. You're falling behind. You can't handle this. But Stoicism teaches us something radically empowering. Our strength doesn't come from how others see us, it comes from what we choose to believe about ourselves. And when you affirm, I am capable, you're not just giving yourself a pep talk, you're reclaiming authorship over your own story. You're reminding yourself that you've faced storms before and you're still standing. That your ability to endure, adapt, and grow isn't an exception, it's your default. Think about it. How many times in your life did you do something hard that you once thought you couldn't? How many moments of quiet bravery have you already lived through moments no one saw, but that shaped everything? This affirmation isn't about arrogance. It's about anchoring. It's not about pretending to be invincible. It's about recognizing that your value isn't up for debate today, not ever. So when the day gets loud, when doubt creeps in, when comparison claws at your peace, come back to this. Say it again. Let it steady your breath and your steps. I am capable. And let that be the foundation from which you rise. Let's move to the next principle. Let's be honest. Life doesn't always go according to plan. There are twists, setbacks, unexpected turns. But what if the real power isn't in what happens to us, but in how we see it? That's the essence of this next Stoic truth. I shape my reality. Your perception isn't just a filter, it's a creative force. The way you interpret your experiences, the story you tell yourself about your challenges, your future, your past, that narrative is powerful. It can either chain you down or it can set you free. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met two people who faced the same situation? Maybe they both lost a job or went through a breakup, and yet one came out stronger, wiser, and the other stayed stuck in bitterness and blame? That's perception at work. Every thought you entertain, every decision you make, is like a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So ask yourself, what kind of life are you painting today? This mindset isn't about pretending everything is fine or slapping on fake positivity. It's about radical ownership. It's about refusing to hand over the pen of your story to someone else, to your past, to your circumstances, to fear. When you say, "I shape my reality," you're stepping into your role as a creator, not just a consumer. You're choosing to lead your life rather than be led by it. And yes, it takes practice. It takes awareness. But each time you pause and reframe a negative thought, each time you choose presence over panic, each time you act with intention, that's you shaping reality. So don't wait for the world to change before you do. Shape your world, one thought, one action, one belief at a time. Let's move forward. There's something powerful about waking up with a sense of direction. Not the kind that comes from a packed to-do list or a busy calendar, but the clarity that comes from within. A quiet knowing, a purpose. Even when the details are blurry, when you say to yourself, "My path is clear," you're not claiming to know every step ahead. You're claiming ownership of your intent. You're telling your mind, "I may not have all the answers, but I know where I'm going, and I trust myself to get there." Clarity isn't about control, it's about vision. And the clearer that vision becomes, the more effectively you can navigate the inevitable twists and turns life throws your way. You stop reacting to obstacles as if they're dead ends. Instead, you see them as part of the path, not roadblocks, but stepping stones. Let me ask you this. How often have you let fear or uncertainty paralyze you simply because the way forward wasn't perfectly mapped out? Stoicism teaches us that it's not the path that must be perfect. It's you who must be prepared to adapt. So forgive yourself for the delays. Let go of the detours that didn't take you where you hoped. The important thing is that you're still walking, still learning, still moving forward. And when the fog settles in, as it does for all of us, return to this thought: my path is clear. Say it with your feet, even when your eyes don't fully see it yet. Because clarity is not the absence of challenge. It's the presence of purpose. Let's keep walking. Growth doesn't always look like progress. Some days, it's loud, bold leaps and breakthroughs. Other days, it's quiet showing up, holding steady, choosing patience instead of pressure. But make no mistake, you are growing. This fourth principle, I grow stronger daily, is about honoring the journey, not just the milestones. It's about seeing your strength not only in the wins, but in the ways you keep going, even when no one is watching. We tend to believe growth should be fast, visible, and impressive. But that belief sets us up for burnout and shame. Real growth, the kind that lasts, is often messy, subtle, and deeply personal. And it rarely happens in straight lines. Think of it this way. A tree doesn't grow taller every single day. Sometimes it's building roots. Sometimes it's weathering storms. But always, it's alive. And so are you. So instead of chasing perfection, focus on consistency. Focus on resilience. When you make a mistake, learn. When you take a step forward, celebrate. When you feel stuck, breathe. And remind yourself, this moment is part of it too. Let me ask you, when was the last time you paused and acknowledged how far you've come? Not compared to others, but compared to yourself, your past self. The one who once dreamed of being where you are now? Say it gently. Say it proudly. Say it often. I grow stronger daily. Because even the smallest steps, taken consistently, will reshape your entire life. Let's keep going. What does excellence really mean? Is it about being the best? Outperforming others? Climbing higher, faster, louder? Not in stoicism, not in a life built on purpose. Excellence, at its core, is about commitment. A quiet, daily promise you make to yourself not to be better than someone else, but to be better than who you were yesterday. I commit to excellence isn't a performance. It's a practice. A mindset rooted in discipline, courage, wisdom, and integrity. The same virtues that guided the great Stoic thinkers. It means showing up for your values, even when no one is watching. It means giving your best effort, not just when it's easy or exciting, but especially when it's uncomfortable and inconvenient. Excellence lives in the small decisions, repeated consistently, long before the world notices. Think about someone you truly admire. Is it their talent that inspires their character? Is it the way they treat others? How they keep their word? How they hold themselves to a standard even when they could take shortcuts? That's what this principle is about. Personal accountability, owning your standards, walking your path with integrity, regardless of the noise around you. Because when you commit to excellence, you become trustworthy to yourself. And that's the kind of inner strength no title or trophy can match. Say it, believe it, live it. I commit to excellence. Let's move forward. Let's talk about something we all do: make excuses. Sometimes they're subtle. I'm just too busy. Other times they're blunt. I'm not good enough. They may feel harmless in the moment, even comforting. But over time, excuses are like Venus. They quietly wrap around your potential until movement feels impossible. This principle: excuses do not define Mace about reclaiming your responsibility. You see, excuses offer a story that protects us from discomfort. But what they really do is shield us from growth. They keep us in a cycle of hesitation and regret. And here's the truth. Growth only happens when we're willing to take full ownership. Owning your choices, your reactions, and your progress isn't about blame, it's about power. The moment you stop outsourcing responsibility is the moment you start steering your own life. That's when you stop drifting and begin deciding, it's not always easy. Sometimes it means confronting uncomfortable truths. Sometimes it means saying, I could have done better, not to beat yourself up, but to do better next time. And that's where real confidence comes from. Not from pretending to be perfect, but from facing reality head on and choosing to rise anyway. When you drop the weight of excuses, you pick up the strength of intention. You start acting in alignment with your values instead of your fears. That's when your life begins to shift, not because things got easier, but because you got stronger. So let this be your reminder. Excuses do not define you. Your effort does. Your integrity does. Your willingness to show up, especially when it's hard, does. Let's keep going. There's a quiet but powerful truth that many of us forget. You weren't born to blend in. You were designed to create, to contribute, to stand for something meaningful. And the more you remember that, the more clearly you begin to see the difference between simply surviving and truly living. I am designed for greatness isn't about ego, it's about responsibility. A recognition that you carry something unique within you, a perspective, a strength, a voice that no one else can offer in the same way. It's easy to fall into the trap of obligation, to feel like life is just one long list of things you have to do. But what if we flip that mindset? What if we approached each day not as a burden, but as an opportunity to serve the world with what we've been given? You don't have to change the entire world, but you can brighten someone's moment. You can lead with integrity. You can show up with love. And those actions, they echo far beyond what you can see. Greatness isn't measured by applause, it's measured by impact. Quiet impact, consistent impact. The kind that starts from within and radiates outward. So today, ask yourself, am I shrinking to fit in? Or am I rising to what I was made for? Because the truth is, we all have a choice. We can play small, stay comfortable, and hide behind excuses. Or we can rise, stretch, and live from the place inside us that knows we're capable of more. Say it again. I am designed for greatness. Not someday, today. Let's continue. In today's world, opinions come cheap and loud. Everyone has one. About how you should live, what success looks like, who you should be, and what you should want. But here's the Stoic truth. You are not here to live someone else's version of your life. External opinions do not sway me is more than it's a mindset, a form of freedom. Because the moment you start measuring your worth by likes, approval, or the ever-changing tide of public validation, you lose yourself. Imagine your mind as a citadel, strong, centered, calm, not impenetrable, but well-guarded. You don't block out the world entirely, but you filter what comes in. Constructive feedback? Let it in. Empty noise, criticism without insight, opinions rooted in fear or ego? Let them pass. Living by your values requires courage, especially when your path looks different. But ask yourself this. Would you rather be accepted for a version of you that's not even real or respected for showing up as your whole, honest self? The Stoics remind us that integrity is quiet strength. It's what remains when the noise fades, when the spotlight shifts, when you're alone with your own reflection. So take time to build your inner voice. Strengthen it with reflection, with truth, with purpose. And the next time someone questions your path, you'll be able to say not with anger, but with calm conviction. I hear you, but I know who I am. Say it with me. External opinions do not sway me. Let's move forward. We often carry the weight of two worlds, the past we can't change, and the future we can't predict. But the Stoics remind us life only ever happens in the now. I embrace the present moment is more than just a mindful mantra. It's a commitment to living fully, not someday, but today. Think about how much joy have you missed because your mind was somewhere else? How many meals have you eaten while scrolling? How many conversations have you half heard, thinking about your to-do list? Mindfulness isn't about being perfect, it's about being here. When you ground yourself in the now, everything sharpens. Joy feels deeper. People feel closer. Even your challenges become more manageable because you're no longer overwhelmed by the weight of everything. You're simply dealing with this moment. And that's the real gift. Presence. It doesn't erase pain or remove responsibility, but it gives you clarity. It strengthens your ability to respond rather than react. And it reminds you that peace isn't found in control. It's found in attention. So, let go of what already happened. Release the grip on what hasn't come yet. Anchor yourself to this breath, this conversation, this step. Say it gently, say it daily. I embrace the present moment. And from this moment, this very one, live with open eyes, an open heart, and grounded purpose. Let's bring it all together. So here we are, 9 principles, 9 reminders, and 1 undeniable truth. Your life is shaped by what you choose to believe, how you choose to act, and where you choose to place your attention. If there's one thing the Stoics taught us, it's this. Wisdom isn't just found in books. It's found in practice, in how you respond to challenge, in how you carry yourself through the ordinary moments, in how you show up heaven when no one's watching. These affirmations aren't just nice words to say. They are anchors. They are tools. And if you return to them daily, they'll help you live with more intention, more clarity, and more courage. Because every day, yes, every single day is a fresh opportunity to be a little more grounded, a little more resilient, a little more aligned with who you truly want to be. You don't need to wait for a new month, a new year, or a perfect moment to start. Start now. Start with what you have. Start by choosing to live well. Thanks for being here and for walking this path alongside me. Until next time, Stay mindful, stay steady, and stay true.